Good morning and welcome once again to chapel. The Lord be with you. Just before we begin properly this morning, a quick announcement from me. Just to say, if any of you have any good ideas for chapel talks, or you fancy recording and doing a chapel talk yourself, now is the opportunity to volunteer. Please do send me a message via Teams or send me an email. You may find it less scary recording a talk on your device rather than doing it in person in front of everybody in chapel. But it's a great experience. It's a great thing to introduce you to public speaking and a great thing to put on your UCAS application later on. So please do let me know if you would like to give a chapel talk at some point in this academic year and what your ideas are. Today's chapel service is all about mental health. And we begin with a reading from Psalm 55.
Hear me, O God. Tune your ear to my plea and do not turn your face from my prayer. Give me your attention. Answer these sighs of sorrow. My troubles have made me restless. I groan from anxiety, all because of my enemy, because his voice speaks against me. His wickedness torments me. He casts down misfortune upon me. His anger flares. His grudges grow against me. My heart seizes within my chest. I am in anguish. I'm terrified. My life could end on any breath. I shiver and shudder in fear. I can't stop because this horror is just too much. I said, if only my arms were wings like the doves, I would fly away from here and find rest. Yes, I would venture far and weave a nest in the wilderness. I would rush to take refuge away from the violent storm and pounding winds. Throw them off, O Lord, confuse their speech and frustrate their plans, for violence and contention are building within the city. I can see it with my own eyes. They plot day and night, scurrying the city walls like rats, trouble and evil lurking everywhere. In the heart of the city, destruction awaits. Oppression and lies swarm the streets, and they will not take leave. No, they will not go. If it were just an enemy sneering at me, I could take it. If it were just someone who has always hated me, treating me like dirt, I'd simply hide away. But it's you, a man like me, my old friend, my companion. We enjoyed sweet conversation, walking together in the house of God among the pressing crowds. Let death sneak up on them, swallow them alive into the pit of death. Why? Because evil stirs in their homes. Evil is all around them. But I shall call upon God, and by his word the Eternal shall save me. Evening, morning, and noon I will plead. I will grumble and moan before him until he hears my voice. And he will rescue my soul untouched, plucked safely from the battle, despite the many who are warring against me. God, enthroned from ancient times through eternity, will hear my prayers and strike them down. For they have refused change. They supply their every need and have no fear of God. My friend has become a foe, breaking faith, tearing down peace. He's betrayed our covenant. Oh, how his pleasant voice is smoother than butter, while his heart is enchanted by war. Oh, how his words are smoother than oil, and yet each is a sword drawn in his hand. Cast your troubles upon the Eternal. His care is unceasing. He will not allow his righteous to be shaken. But you, O God, will drive them into the lowest pit. Violent, lying people won't live beyond their middle years. But I place my trust in you.
The observant amongst you will have noticed that last Saturday was World Mental Health Day. A day when we try and raise awareness of mental health issues and encourage one another to look after our mental health in the same way that we might look after our physical health as well. And I think we've got a bit better as a society at raising awareness of mental health issues. Certainly, we seem much better at doing it now than we were when I was a child at school. But mental health issues and dealing with difficult thoughts and feelings and emotions is not a new thing at all. It's part of the human condition. And we go back thousands of years to this psalm that we've just heard, Psalm 55. And we see the psalmist go through all kinds of the same emotions that we might find ourselves going through today. Feelings of anguish and despair, frustration, and a sense of betrayal. And we see the psalmist expressing all these emotions to God. One of the things scientists have learnt about mental health in recent years is the importance of us being honest with ourselves and with some other people that we can trust about what we are actually thinking and feeling. It's so tempting when we're experiencing difficult thoughts and feelings and emotions to try and squash them down and push them away, put our fingers in our ears and go la, 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 and convince ourselves that actually everything is okay. But actually, that can often make things worse. Just the process of being honest with ourselves about how we are feeling, being honest with another human being that we trust about how we are feeling, even being honest with God as the psalmist was in this psalm. Just that process of acknowledging and feeling our feelings can make a massive difference in helping us recover and move on from those difficult thoughts and feelings. So I encourage you to think today, who can you talk about your difficult thoughts and feelings with? Who do you trust? Who can you be honest with? How can you even turn to God in prayer and honesty about what you are thinking and feeling today?